Probably once or twice.
At a briefing for the nonprofit organization World Denver, Mahmoud Jibril made an observation that few could argue with these days.
The easiest task is to destroy a country, but the hardest task is to rebuild it.
Jibril, the interim prime minister during Libya's 2011 civil war, said since that conflict his country has not developed in the way he'd hoped.
When we talk about democracy, at least in the Libyan context, I talk with bitterness, to be honest with you.
Today, Libya is a country with three separate so-called governments, sporadic social services including electricity, and an economy in which inflation is out of control. Jibril, the head of Libya's largest political party, says plans were in place after the war to build a state from the ground up, but that world powers failed to support those who thought democracy could flourish there.
We discovered the reality that that's a myth, it's not a reality. Reality in Libya, power pays. If you have power, then you are respected.
This past week, the Libyan Army exerted its power by seizing 4 oil terminals. The head of the state oil company says oil will be flowing again soon.
Resuming the oil production, which started yesterday, was a very, very positive step in the eyes of the Libyan people.
In the city of Sirte, the military offensive against ISIL continues.
The military forces did a good job so far against Daesh in Sirte.
But Jibril warns the terrorist group is not easily contained.
What will it take for ISIL to be driven out of Libya for good?
The battle itself should be fought by the Libyans themselves. You know, this Libyan cause and should be fought by Libyans.
Economic development, he says, is the only real answer to terrorism. He believes it's the international community's responsibility to force all sides in Libya to the negotiating table. In the case of the U.S., he argues, that's what leadership is all about.
This controversy for us in the third world, being a leader is not a matter of a choice, it's a matter of necessity.
Jibril says what happens in Libya matters to the U.S.
A very little problem far away because of the connectedness of today's world. Believe me, it's going to affect the United States whether we like it or not.
This 64-year-old politician now lives in Egypt because he says Libya is simply not secure. He's ready to engage with other Libyan factions and get the political process moving. He thinks his country is tired of fighting.
What's your hunch? When do you think you might be able to go back to Libya again?
In less than 3 years, things will start to calm down.
You're confident of that?
Just for any Libyan to think that his kids without education, without any medical services, his family without any stable source of income, this is a nightmare for every Libyan, even including militia leaders themselves. They are looking for an exit today. And this is the opportunity that we should seize to capitalize on.
But it's only possible, he says, with the world's help. Hendrik, Sybrandy, CCTV, Denver.